Okay, these are a little bit confusing, okay, so I'm going to go pretty slow. It takes you 8 minutes to wash one car. It takes a friend 6 minutes to wash one car. How long does it take the two of you to wash 7 cars if you work together? Okay, so I'm going to make an opening box, and your box is going to be cars and minutes. Now it's quite obvious that minutes would be the X because that's your time, and then Y would be cars. So per, that would be cars per minute. Alright, now the cars per minute. We do not have the cars per minute. You see one car, but that's not per minute, that's 8 minutes. And then one car is over a time span of 6 minutes. So we don't have the cars per minute, I put question mark. So we're going to come out and make a table. We're actually going to make 2 tables because there are 2 people, okay? So I put XY, XY. Please put your labels. Cars equals Y, so cars, cars. Minutes equals X, so minutes, minutes. So since we do not have the information, we put 0 and then block it, 0 and then block it, and then I start putting my numbers in. So 8 minutes, and in that very same sentence it says 1 car. Now we go to the other table because this is for a different person. 6 minutes, 1 car. Now I place these 4 numbers. What do I do with the 7? Because that's where we're going to boot it together. Well, you come down here and you put 7 cars, question mark, minutes. So we're not going to put a 7 on either table. Now, if you just sat on your butt and did 0 work for 0 minutes, you're going to get 0 cars washed. And if you work for 0 minutes here, that's 0 cars washed too. So that means you can make proportions. It means you're not going to make the lines. Proportions are these 2 ratios equal. But since I have 2 tables, I add another ratio. Okay, so unlike Friday where we just made these 2, now we have a second table, so we have to add it to this side. Now you're going to get burned if you don't put your Y on top. So Y, 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 X, X, X. Cars is Y, so cars, cars, cars. Minutes, minutes, minutes. Okay? So let's look at our first table. How many cars we got? 1. How many minutes you got? 8. Second table, how many cars you got? 1. How many minutes you got? 6. Now, how many cars you got outside the table together? 7. How many minutes? We don't know. So let's pick a variable. I don't care what it is. I'll put M. It can be any variable you want. Now, how are we going to solve that? Well, we can't just multiply and divide because we have 2 over here. So circle your equals. Now line it up. And you drop the 7 over M. That stays. Now what you do here is add these fractions. Now, I am going to use a calculator. I'm going to take 1 ABC 8 plus 1 ABC 6, and I'm going to get 7 over 24. Okay? Now I'm going to show you why that became 7 over 24. To add fractions, you have to get common denominators. So you take your larger denominator and look in the 8th row on a multiplication table. Okay? So the 8th row. First multiple of 8's 8. Is that in 6's row? Nope. Second multiple of 8's 16. Is that in 6's row? Nope. Third multiple of 8's 24. Is that in 6's row? Yes, it is. Okay? So that's your common denominator. Okay, so 8 times what's 24? Well, it's 3. And 1 times 3 is 3. 6 times 4, 1 times 4, that's 4. Now we have the common denominator, so now what I do is add the tops. It's 7. That's how that's 7 over 24. Okay? Then I cross multiply and divide. So here I have 7 times m. I don't know what that is, but I know it equals 24 times 7. So I take 24 times 7 and then divide by 7. Got 24. So 24 minutes is how long it's going to take to do the 7 cars working together. Okay, next one. Charles is making pottery for a craft fair. Cross out me and put him. It takes him 50 minutes to construct one piece of pottery. It takes his wife 35 minutes to construct one piece of pottery. How long will it take to construct 35 pieces of pottery if they work together? So we're solving for the minutes. So we have minutes and pieces. So the time unit is my X, the pieces is my Y. So per pieces per minute. Okay. Now we don't know the pieces per minute. I mean, it says 1 piece, but that's not per minute. That's over 50 minutes. Okay, 1 piece, that's over 35 minutes. So we don't have the pieces per minute. Now, I don't make one table, I make 2 of them. Okay, so XY, XY, minutes is X, so minutes, minutes, and then pieces is Y, so pieces, not labeling screws up this whole problem. Okay. Now, since we don't have the pieces per minute for anybody, we do the 0 block. We don't go 1, 2. Then we put the numbers where they belong. So 50 minutes is with 1 piece. 50 minutes, 1 piece. Then 35 minutes is with 1 piece. So those 4 amounts have been placed. Now we run into 35 pieces, but that's together. So I don't put that on either table, and I put question mark minutes. Okay. Okay, so if you work for 0 minutes, you get 0 pieces. Okay. If you work for 0 minutes here, you'd also get 0 pieces. So bottom line is, we don't make the lines because I don't have a beginning amount to work with from. Okay, we make the proportions. But again, like the last problem, since there's 2 tables, we need to be adding the 2 right there. So circle that equals. Now, once again, the Y goes on top. The X goes on the bottom. Now, why is that important? So I don't put the numbers in the wrong places. So minutes is X, so all these are going to be minutes amounts I put on bottom. And the pieces is Y, so these are all going to be pieces that I put on top. Okay, first table, 50 minutes, 1 piece. Second table, you got 1 piece, 35 minutes. Okay. And then what we want to know, we got 35 pieces, but we don't know the minutes, so you can put M or whatever letter you want to use, it doesn't matter. So line up your equals. This side we're doing nothing with, that's 35 over M. But we need to add these, okay? 1/50th plus 1/35th. Okay, 17 over 350. So I add those, and that's what that added to. And how? Same way it did over there with the first problem. So now 17 times M, I can't find that product, but I can take 350 times 35, and then I know that's equal to 17 times M, so I can divide by 17. So 350 times 35 divided by 17. Okay, you get answers like that quite often, okay? So what you do is you just take your 720, just take it up 1. Okay, 721. There's your answer. Okay, last problem. You can type 7 pages in 2 hours. Your classmates can type 8. Your classmate, there'd only be one of them. Shouldn't be an S on that. Can type 8 pages in 3 hours. If you have 2 computers and can work at the same time, how long will it take the 2 of you to type 37 pages? By the way, I messed this up right here. That shouldn't say minutes down there. That should say hours. Okay. So you've got hours and pages. Pages and hours. X is hours, Y is pages. So per. Pages per hour, no idea. Okay, so question mark. So I make 2 tables, one for me, one for my classmate. Now if you don't label the X and Y, it's going to be, you're done pretty much. So pages is Y, hours is X. You can abbreviate it, but we need to see the label. So I go 0 block, 0 block, and then down, because I know I can't go to 1, 2 when I don't have the pages per hour identified. So 7 pages in 2 hours, that's a pair, okay? Then on the other table, 8 pages in 3 hours form a pair. Okay, 37 pages is together, so we put that down here, and then question mark hours. That's what we're figuring out. Now, if you type for 0 hours, you'd have 0 pages. 0 hours, 0 pages. So I know I can make some kind of a proportion out of that. Just with 2 tables, I need to add the amounts together, because this goes on the third one, okay? This information here. This goes on one, this goes on the other. Now remember, Y on top. That always sets itself up that way. Pages is Y. So any page amounts go on top, hours is X, any hours amounts go on the bottom. So 2 hours, 7 pages. Now the next one, how many pages? We got 8 over 3. And then together, how many pages? We got 37. And then you can put any letter you want, okay? If you want to put H for hours or X, you just want to use X every time, that's fine. Now we have to solve for H, but before I can do that, I need to line up my equals. 37 over H stays the same. It's right here where we have to add these two, okay? So you can use the ABC key on your calculator, but something problematic's going to happen. So 7 over 2 plus 8 over 3. That is not a ratio. You got 6 and 1/6 is what that says. When you add the fractions, you got a mixed number. You got a whole number and a fraction. You need to come down here, write 6 and 1/6, and you need to write that as an actual ratio. Here's how it's done. Your bottom number is the same as you have here, 6. Then you take your whole number times your bottom plus your top. Whole times bottom plus top. So I take my whole number 6 times my bottom number and then add 1, and I got 37. So now I know exactly what I have here. So 37 times H, I can't figure that out, but I can figure out 6 times 37 and then divide by 37. I got 6, okay? So 6 is your answer. And again, here's why that's 37 over 6. 7 over 2, 8 over 3. So 3 is the higher denominator. You look in the third row. 3 is the first number, but that's not in the second row, the 2 row. 6 is the second multiple of 3, and that's also a 2 in 2's row. So 6, so times 3, that'd be 21, times 2, that'd be 16, and 21 plus 16 is 37. But if you add them on a calculator, it's going to give you the mixed number. That is not going to work, okay? You'll have to, you know your bottom number is 6, but to find the top, you take the whole times the bottom plus the top. Then you get 6